Hi, I'm Hermes and welcome to the Sage's Thoughts. So this is going to be a 7-part video series in which I discuss the 7 Hermetic Laws. And in this video, I'm going to be discussing the first of these Hermetic Laws, which is the law of mentalism. So firstly, these laws, if you'd like to read them yourself, they can be found in the book The Kabbalion. These laws are attributed to Hermeticism and can be taken back as far as the Egyptian god Thoth, as well as the Greek god Hermes. And I believe the figure they're attributed to is Hermes Trismegistus. So in the first law, what does it mean? The law of mentalism. So the quote that's given in the book is, "The all is mind, the universe is mental." So what does it mean that all is mind? So we have our individual consciousness as well as a collective consciousness. So each individual's mind is part of a universal mind, making all of us connected, a collective consciousness. So how can this be useful in the modern day? So I would say the way in which it can be used is we are currently in one of the worst mental health crises of all time. So understanding our connection with our mind, how to properly utilize it and keep up good mental health. So something I like to use is seeing my mind as a temple, similar to my body. So if you treat your body as a temple, that's being very mindful of what you're putting into it. You know, if you're going to be eating loads of junk food, not getting proper sleep, not treating your body well, you're going to have health issues, bodily health issues, for physical health issues. But as well as the mind, we constantly are ingesting things into our mind just as we do our body. That's constant media use, the Instagram reels, TikToks, shorts. You know, you're constantly just downloading information into your mind, constantly, time and time again. So I believe you have to be very mindful of the kind of media you're ingesting, be very mindful of the things you're entering into your mind. You know, if you have this perspective that your mind is a temple, you will treat it as such. You will only allow that which is worthy to enter. You know, if you have a holy space that you consider a temple and someone comes into that space, you're gonna, make them follow the rules of that temple. You're gonna make them be respectful. If you consider your mind, just something you don't respect, and you allow people to come in, they're not going to respect it either. So that's other people, that's yourself as well. You have to treat it as, to have good mental health, you have to treat your mind well. You have to practice healthy habits to have good mental health. So that's first and foremost, capitalizing and making sure your mind is in a good state. So how can you properly utilize this law into your own life? So with this law, it sees the universe as a mental construct. So everything within the world that you see, the phone that you're watching this on, or computer, this microphone that I'm using in front of me, everything started within someone's mind. Every product you see, every service, every technological advancement we've had as a species, that all started within someone's mind. It started as an idea. Essentially, the universe is a mental construct. That was the paper in which, the art began, you could see as. So how can you properly utilize that? First and foremost, if you have began making your mind a healthy place, you have started practicing those healthy habits, you do practice meditation, you have a clear mind, that is the place you want to be at in order to utilize this law. You can see it as thoughts become things. And how can you capitalize on that? How I use it, I like to use the 4 elements. So fire, earth, water, and air. So that's also the 4 elements which make up our physical world. So I like to usually reflect upon that. And you could see it as in the process of manifestation. If you're going to, work with that creativity in your own mind and bring your own thoughts to become things, the way in which to do that, you could see fire as the spark. So spark, what is a spark? It's like sometimes we have that, that idea that kind of comes to us. Many people have many of those and then don't capitalize on them whatsoever. They just come and then they go, they're fleeting. So that's the kind of process. That's where it all begins. It begins with that spark. So then the next element would be air. Air you can see as kind of the thoughts. You play around with that spark. You've had the spark now and you start to really think about it. You think about, how can I use that? How would I be able to do that? You play with it within your own mind. You really start to play with the idea, make it to an extent, make it become real. And then the next element would be water. With water, that's when you really start playing with it. You really start to make it a bit more physical. You start to maybe write down, maybe start planning that idea out, start writing down all the steps in order to make that idea become a reality. And then lastly is physical, or the earth. That's when you start taking physical action. You bring it into action. That's just one kind of way in which I use the law of mentalism or the law of manifestation to kind of make my ideas become a reality. So yeah, that's my thoughts on the law of mentalism. Just wanted to kind of give a basic idea, and yeah, this again will be a 7-part series, so yeah, look out for law 2. Peace out. Welcome to the Sageverse. Please just observe the birth of this creative surge for the purpose to leave hatred purged and replaced with words that will make you learn to take your place on earth. Once you've taken your place and found your greatest of traits, cultivated the day, this will be making you say, this is the sage's way.